is Chris at handfuloftranquility.com, sporting the ironic handlebar mustache today. Ignore this red tassel behind me. It's one of my wife's decorations that I don't feel like moving. Today I'm going to be reviewing this battery holder. The link will be right here for Amazon.com for it. I decided I need something to hold some D batteries, C batteries, AA's, and AAA's. I just recently got a few rechargeable Ds. I'll be doing a link to that review as I do the review. It's not done yet. I apologize if I'm slightly out of focus or if I kind of go out of focus and then come back in focus. It's actually really hard to get in focus while this is also halfway in focus. So we're going to go ahead and load this thing up with batteries, see how it does. Some of the nice features, I'm not going to use this, but it has this little coin cell thing that actually will swing. That way if you have it horizontal, like in a drawer, it'll still sit nicely, or if you hang it on the wall, it'll hold them securely as well. It has this removable battery tester. I've checked it out. It's alright. It kind of reads in the low area about 1.1 volts. It's really not that low for a rechargeable. It'll tell you to recharge before it really needs recharged. So I'm going to go ahead and load it up and let you know how secure it feels in the wall. It also has some slots for 9 volts. I'll fill that later. I never noticed before, but I have a couple of eneloops batteries that are slightly different. They have a different top cap than the rest. I have my Maha Power X Medions down here on the bottom, just so we can keep like batteries alike. It's got 3 rows here for AAA batteries. It has 5 rows plus a few more here for AA's. It can hold 6 D's or 8 C cells. Most of mine are in use right now. But, I mean, this thing, it feels extremely secure. It is tight to the wall. It's not going anywhere. The slots are all angled slightly downward for the AA's, the D's, C's, AAA's. Even the 9 volts have a slight recline backwards, which is nice. That way, if there's a bump on the wall, nothing's going to fall off. If it is perfectly level, they could slide out with some vibrations. But overall, it feels secure. I think I'm really going to like having this. I have my charger on a shelf right here below this. That way when they're done charging, they can go in the wall. They're separate. We know they're charged. And I can charge all my batteries at once, put them on here, and then the charger's free for future use. Overall, I really like it. I'll go ahead and put the installation portion in right now. But it's definitely worth the 10 or 15 bucks that it costs just for the convenience. Previously, I was using 8 AA holders. You know, it works alright, but as you get more and more, it's not quite so convenient. This way I'll have plenty available. Not sure I'm going to really use this battery tester a whole lot. Maybe, but probably not so much. First, we're going to locate the position that this needs to go. The instructions, as sparse as they are, do mention that there is a screw hole here, and then there's one on either side of the battery holders here and here. So we're going to find where we want to have it on the wall. I've already run with my wife, so I already know that this is the right location. Go ahead and just take a pencil and go ahead and mark that inside the screw holes, and then you can get your dots. The kit comes with some really cheap wall anchors. I've measured them. They're kind of oblong. They're thin sides 3/16, the wide sides 1/4. They're really smushy. So I'm going to go ahead and drill the 3/16 hole, and we'll see where that gets. In case you've never used one of these wall anchors before, they're very easy to use. The way they work is you insert them into a hole drilled into the drywall. It has to be fairly tight. This region right here will kind of compress into the hole. You push it all the way in, and then as you thread the screw into the insert, it expands this tight up against the drywall. It can hold a fairly decent amount of weight. As I said, I'm going to start off with a 3/16 drill bit, and I'll let you know how that works. If it's a little big, I will hide it behind the battery holder and not tell you about it. This is an outside wall, so a little bit of insulation came with it. So we'll insert the holder. Again, it's supposed to be a fairly tight fit. That might be a little tight. Okay, so I re-drilled this with a 7/32, and it seems to be a little bit better of a fit. If all you have is a 3/16 and you don't have a 3/32, don't fret. you can just kind of slowly wiggle the bit very carefully, try to make it as smooth as a hole as possible. It still doesn't push in all the way. You don't want it to go through the hole. You want to have to push some force into it. So you can use a hammer with a flat face. I'm going to use this D-cell battery because it's what I have. Go ahead and try pushing in and see what happens. Alright, that went in. And now I'm going to just make sure it works by test screwing it in. If you mess this up and you push it in the wall or just overall mess it up, you can get these wall anchors for pretty cheap at Menards or your local hardware store or whatever you have around. They're a few dollars for a variety pack, and they're just called drywall anchors. I'll probably link to it on Amazon if they have them for a reasonable price. So I'm going to fast forward right now. Perfect. So I'm going to leave myself room where I can get to this one. I'm just going to leave that tightened in pretty well. As it got to the very end, you could tell it was tightening up nicely. So I have my other drill hole here and here, which may not be in the frame. But we're going to go ahead and drill those and finish hanging. I'm actually going to do this particular hole with the 3/16. That way if you don't have a 7/32, you can make sure that you'll be able to do it. And we don't need to enlarge it much, just a tiny bit. Alright, time to insert the final 2 wall anchors. Again, they should require a little bit of force to insert. And then I'll go ahead and screw these in. And it's installed. I have no doubt whatsoever that this will be able to securely hold a full rack of batteries.